Hey guys, happy Halloween. Today's empowerment message is about going on a quest and trusting the path that you're on. The quest card says, be bold and mighty forces will aid you. Take action. Good luck favors the brave. So take action, today, whenever you're watching this, in whatever capacity it feels right to you. And do that even when you don't know how the steps will add up or where exactly you're going. If you don't know where the journey's taking you, that is okay. It can be a little bit stressful. I can understand and feel that attachment to wanting to know where you're going and wanting to know, how this is going to shake out. But sometimes we don't always know. I feel like we don't usually know. Even when we feel like we know, we're kind of surprised and things pop up, things happen along the way, which is normal, which is okay. But make the choices that make sense to you. Even if others are telling you that what you're doing is stupid or cringy or pointless, they're not living your life, you are. They don't get to tell you what to do in your own life. That would be insane. For someone to be like, no, this is so stupid, you shouldn't be doing this, is wild, because it's so subjective to say that something is stupid and to say that something is cringy or, just ridiculous or so weird. We all use those words, not saying that, one thing is bad or not to put any judgment on it, but I feel that is of course subjective. And if you don't think it's weird and you don't think it's pointless for you, you feel like you're called to do that thing, go and do that thing, because it's your life. If you want to go and do something that you just feel like you have to do, there's this calling, there's this gnawing feeling that you want to go on a certain journey, whether it's a physical journey, traveling, maybe driving across country. I know someone after we graduated college, she went with her boyfriend to they took a van and just went all over the place, all over the country. Maybe it's something like that where it's a physical journey, or it could be a health journey that you're on where you are trying to take better care of yourself and the diet, the things you eat, the way that you move your body. You could be taking new dance classes, whatever it is, whatever your journey you're on, continue to go towards it because it makes sense to you. It doesn't have to make sense to everybody else. And it doesn't have to, you don't need that validation from anybody else, especially when, I feel like there can be people who will put those judgments on us and those, those words, and say those things about us, even though, they have no inclination and no, no interest to get to know us at all or understand us at all. So just continue to do what you're doing. And my next note that I've written down says, there can be times along your journey that feel like there's nothing happening because you're just doing the same thing each day. But know that the quiet moments are there for you to rest, to reflect, to refine your skills, and to prepare. I said prepare I was just I was trying to breathe at the same time, but know that you can prepare during those times when you're quiet, when things aren't really, when you're just kind of going through that monotonous, day to day. I remember on SpongeBob when Squidward was in, with all the squids, he was living with the squids, I think. And he was just going through the same thing every day. He was going to the store. He was in his aerobics class, and it was just his same face, but the different backgrounds, because he was just going through the motions every single day. And sometimes our journey can feel like that. And we can be maybe looking for excitement, or also sometimes in those moments, me personally, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I'm okay, should I be doing more? Should I be? No, those times are, again, however you want to look at it, whatever your perspective is, those moments can be very helpful. And sometimes I will take those moments again to rest. Like I said, I will sleep, literally sleep. I will go and do other things, with my time. I will catch up on my appointments, making phone calls, anything like that, catching up on emails and preparing, during those times where I'm just chilling with sales and stuff. And, I'm preparing, right now I'm preparing for the holidays and stuff like that. And I am adding new products to my website. So in this time, while I'm adding new stuff and preparing for new things, I'm so sorry if you can hear the guy outside, but in this time that I'm preparing for those things, I'm also stocking up on my supplies. I am, going through everything that I have, seeing what I need to use up, what I'm almost out of, and what I need to restock for, and, prepping in that way and putting in the work behind the scenes in silence, because, I'm trusting my ideas. I'm trusting I feel like when I buy supplies, and just when you buy things in general, I feel like, well, this might go more towards like if you're a creator, but stocking up on things, like anticipating that you're going to sell them. Like, I don't know if I'm going to, but I'm going to trust my idea and I'm going to keep going with that, even if I actually haven't seen them, you know, physically in fruition yet. I haven't actually received those sales, but I want to make sure that I'm prepared before that time actually comes, because when that time comes, I don't want to be behind. Like when I get a sale for like maybe like 10 pieces and I don't have enough for those 10 pieces, and you know, now I'm scrambling and now I need to order those things. So sometimes this quiet time is there for you in order to prepare, and it's in order for you to get ready. And I hear a lot of people say, like I've heard it, you might have heard it too, but people say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Remain, you know, prepared and ready for whatever you want to happen. Like again, me with selling during the holidays and making pieces for that. I want to make sure I have enough wire. I have my gemstones, which, oh yes, I do have enough wire. I was just thinking, because I made so many pieces the other day. But I'm making sure that I have those things so that when the time comes, I don't need to be scrambling. So yeah, sometimes when things are quiet, when you feel like you're along your journey and things are just not happening, you feel like you're not getting like the calls, the, you know, the contacts from people, just know that that is a time for you to refine your skills, to even like if you have a website, again, if you're somebody who, or if you sell like a product or service, just make sure like you're going through your website, everything is as is, the links are going where they're supposed to, like things are typed out the right way, things are, you know, you're not missing any information. Because I went on my website, you know, I was just checking stuff and I had the wrong about the artist page, like it was an old one, and I was like, I don't know how long this has been here, but you know, I changed that. So just take those times when things are quiet to check in, to adjust and to refine things wherever you need to. And you know, whatever steps you are taking today, whether you're again on your health journey, looking for a new job, making new things for your business, you know, just whatever it is, know that your ambition and determination will be rewarded. And I wrote this here, but I don't remember what I meant to say, is that when, oh yeah, so yeah, know that your ambition and determination will be rewarded. And sometimes it'll even feel like it to you. Like if you've been putting off calls, like to the doctor, or, you know, making those appointments, it feels like a relief to do those things and to check them off your list. Like when you're finishing a project or something on your to-do list, it can feel very rewarding to you. And, you know, that determination that you put in to get that thing done, you will feel the relief afterwards. And you'll also be rewarded for, you know, sticking through that thing. Again, if it's like a big project or a big part of your business, or just like your business in general or your job, like sticking through that and continuing to work your hardest every day. And, you know, your hardest, I won't say like your hardest, working your best, like with your best capabilities, because I feel like working hard is like overrated. And I feel like we shouldn't have to work hard. So I feel like the better word for working hard is like working your best at whatever, you know, energy level you have during that day. Maybe you're at 30% and you're doing your best with your 30% that you have. And sometimes we're at like 100% and we just feel like off the charts and we can do like all this kinds of stuff. So like work your best with whatever you have, and know that all of that determination, all of the passion that you've put into that thing is going to be rewarded. And, you know, you're going to also, you know, again, if you're like me, if you sell jewelry, I mean, if you sell jewelry, but if you sell products, because I sell jewelry, but if you're in the same boat, know that, you know, your right customers are going to come. The collaborations, the partnerships, all of those opportunities. And also the more, as I was saying that, I was thinking that like the more that you are real with yourself about the things that you want, those relationships that you want and what you want them to look like, you are going to receive those things. Because I was thinking like as I was writing this, and also which brings me into my next point, is that sometimes you might need to pivot, and that sometimes when things are quiet, they are lining up behind the scenes. Because over the summer, I was like doing these sales. It wasn't authentic to me. I was just like sort of, it was like the spring into the summer. It was maybe around like May through July. And I stopped selling those pieces around July, and they were like super discounted. And I noticed that like certain people were buying them. Certain people who were buying them had bought from me in the past only when I was doing discounts, like who don't really support me, you know, just like in my day to day. Just like things when they're priced super cheap. And I noticed that, and I was like, you know what, that kind of hurts my feelings, because like I put so much into this, and like I was also like, I want to tell people, because I just wanted it to be more so affordable, even though again, affordability is pretty subjective. You know, what is affordable to one person is completely different to another. But I just wanted to be a little bit more there for my customers. And again, I noticed the only people who were buying them were people who were not buying my pieces at full price. And I said that to one person because they just wanted an exorbitant discount. And I said, no, I was like, I'm not comfortable for that. And I also would lose money. Like the time that I would put into that, I would lose money in my time. And, you know, they got defensive, and we both agreed that like they were not going to buy from me again. And I was like, cool, that is fine with me, because I had set that standard. Like, this was not comfortable for me. I didn't want to accept that. And I didn't want, you know, this type of customer. Like I wanted people to appreciate my jewelry, and I always do. And I've always said that, but I never actually acted towards that. And, you know, over the summer, I started acting towards that. And you know, there was times where I was not getting sales, and I was like, okay, like now I'm kind of scared, because now I'm not getting sales. But, you know, when I was like thirsting after the sales, I also was, you know, I wasn't even paying myself for the time based on what I was pricing my pieces. Like my time wasn't even accounted for. Like, yes, I was accounting for some of the materials and, you know, some of the pieces that I actually, like the physical things, but my time wasn't even accounted for. And I was like scared that, you know, I had fucked up, and it was a long time that I wasn't like getting sales. But like, I feel like in that between time, I was just still sticking, I was still staying determined. I was still sticking with my values and the type of customer I desired. And I just wanted the person who was truly going to appreciate my jewelry. And it doesn't mean that all of my customers don't. There was just a big grouping of people who have followed me since the beginning, when I was not appreciating myself and was not valuing myself, who wanted those same prices. And I was like, you know, I have grown, I have understood my value, and I'm going to price my things that way. So like, I was learning a lot about myself, and wanting to also see that from the people that I was around. And again, it was scary in that quiet time, like I was talking about, where nothing was like, it felt like nothing was happening. But, you know, behind the scenes, I feel like when I put out that energy, everything was shifting like within the universe to bring me those customers. Because after that, like, I was getting customers, you know, happy to spend full price, wasn't looking for a coupon, wasn't looking for a discount, like was happy to buy my handmade pieces, because every single piece that I make it to order. And, you know, I don't stock up on stuff. I don't like to waste my pieces, so I don't stock up. And I just make them as they come in. And, you know, I knew I was going to find those people who appreciated that. So even when things were quiet, I knew that they were working out. So you could be on, you know, a certain part. Like, if you're on a certain part, I'm not going to say like, you know, we're all on different phases. And if you're on a point in your life or on your journey where you are recognizing your value, and you are wanting to see that from other people, and you just feel like everything else is kind of falling apart, know that it is falling apart so it can come back together in the best way for you. Because if you are now setting the standard that you don't want the people that you've been entertaining, you don't want to deal with those things anymore, and you're just over it, and you're taking action, and you're also appreciating yourself so others can appreciate you. Sorry for those guys. And now you're setting that standard, everything is going to shift so everything else in your life can meet that standard. I hope that makes sense. And yeah, that was like what I was going through over the summer. And I was scared. And I also watched this interview with Matthew McConaughey. He was on the Graham Norton show, and he said that like, why in the like early 2000s, when he was big in those rom-coms, he didn't want to be that guy anymore. So he shifted and he stopped taking those roles for rom-coms, and he didn't work for like 20 months. And then, you know, when he stuck with that, he was determined, and he stuck with exactly what he wanted. And, you know, those roles eventually came in. And I think he did like the Wolf of Wall Street. He did the Lincoln Lawyer. Like, he did all of those dramas. So like, you just have to stick to your guns, stick with what you want, even if it's quiet, even if there are times on your quest where it's silent and you feel like nothing is shifting and you feel like everything is going wrong, know that it is going right for your best good. So be bold. Again, take that action and be fierce. Like, be so confident in what you want and be so unshakable in it. Even if it's scary, even if you feel like you need to resort back, just know that, like for me, that feeling to go back to selling my pieces at a discount and selling, like doing my sales and stuff, was out of fear. It wasn't out of confidence. It was out of fear that I wouldn't make sales anywhere else. So make sure that you are, try to check yourself too. Like sometimes I have to like fight myself not to like give into those fears again with like selling. Like it comes up a lot when I'm selling, and also like pricing my pieces. But just know that, the right people will find you and all of the pieces are going to fall into place the way that they're supposed to for you. When you are acting aligned and when you are valuing yourself and acting in that way, and not letting anything else that you don't want into your life. So that was a long one today. I haven't done one over like 13 minutes in a while. So yeah, I hope that was helpful for today, and continue to take those steps. Know that it's okay to change your mind too. It's okay to pivot. It's normal to pivot. But just make sure you are taking those steps and being bold no matter what, taking those steps forward no matter how small that they are. And even when like the fears start to creep in, just keep reminding yourself of why you're doing what you're doing and to stay true to yourself. Like I said, with my example, with not getting sales for so long and Matthew McConaughey for not getting work for so long, just stick to what you're doing because it is going to pay off. And like, again, I have been meeting like the most amazing people, the most amazing customers, because I set that standard for myself and what I want to accept. So do that for yourself, set that standard for what you want to accept into your life, and keep going from there. Again, even remind yourself if you need to, like day in and day out, if you feel like those fears and those insecurities creeping up, quietly silence them and remind yourself of why you're doing what you're doing and how you feel. And what you care about. So yeah, that was it for today. Again, I think I said at the beginning, happy Halloween if you celebrate. I kind of forgot it was Halloween. Doesn't really feel like it. Don't really feel like it, but I did see someone dressed up as a minion, and I did see someone dressed up as like a chip, one of those, not a chipmunk, a hamster from, it was an old show in the 2000s. I watched it when I was a kid, and I saw them and I was like, it's one of those hamsters. So, go out, take care of yourself, be safe wherever you go, whatever you're doing. And I will see you guys tomorrow for November 1st for another message. So bye for now.